Okay, so we're live now. Welcome to our Pacific Rim US stand-up. Here with me is Patrick. So Patrick, just shoot.
Okay, so today we did the morning scrum with Sam, the Martin Fowler, and it was myself, Laura, and Sam, of course. So we had a good discussion on that. I also subsequently, I think, created some stories either today or yesterday. So I'm trying to keep stories in the queue so we have things for people to work on. I've got some other stories I've got to create as well. I amended my PR number 432, where we added the auth to the agency model. I added the controller tests to that. And I've been working on another story, forget the number, but it's to add authorization for the agency person. And I pretty much got that ready to go. I based it on what I did for the agency authorization. So if you can get that in today, then I can rebase against that. Because I forked my development branch off of that other development branch. I'd have to rebase anyway if I put the PR in before the other ones merged. And that is about it. Also, we did discuss how to test against the cruncher backend when we don't really have a sandbox or something like that. And Sam suggested, I think it's a good idea, that we just build a quick, dirty little cruncher service, sandbox, if you will, in Sinatra. He said it would take, for somebody who knows Sinatra, it'd take about a half hour. So I don't know Sinatra, but anyway, Laura does. She's actually interested in doing that. So I've got to work up a story for that so that we can have some canned responses coming back to us for development purposes. And I think that'll get around some of the blocker that I had on that.
Do we really need that?
Well,
Because
we need to.
The thing is, if we just want to test the full API on the Rails side, we can just use what's the gem? Tape?
Like VCR.
VCR, yeah.
VCR.
And having to set up a Sinatra API and everything doesn't win us much more than to have everything on VCR.
Well, we don't. I mean, VCR works to capture the response of an external service, right, and replay it back. But we don't have any response now. It's the problem where we don't have enough resumes so that we can match back and forth. So we're going to have to just create some fake response for resume and job matching. So we'll just spin it up, throw it in a Roku. We'll emulate the API that we use for the real cruncher. I think it'll work out okay. I think it'll be a good tool to have in our arsenal. By the way, any word from Chad on whether he's got some resumes he can provide to us?
Not yet. I'm tackling a problem at a time. I'm trying to configure the DNS for the mailgun.
Oh, you're trying to get him to do that?
I tried to. He gave me access. I accessed it. Apparently, the provider doesn't allow. I don't know why. It looks like the provider that he bought the page from is not responsible for the DNS. So we need to get to the registrar, and that information is set in the registrar directly. So we're in the middle of doing that. So I don't know when.
I see. Yep. Okay.
And nevertheless, he already created the heads notify email. So that's fine.
Okay. So who's the registrar? Is it domain.com or are they just the middle person?
He's using iPage.
iPage? Never heard of those guys.
For hosting.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure if he bought it from them, the Met Plus the
domain?
Met Plus domain or not.
Hmm.
So he doesn't remember either. Doesn't know.
Okay.
He thinks that he bought it from there, but they don't give access to registers, so it's strange. So I told him to open a ticket on them to see why he can change that. And but that he need to be the one doing that because you need to know the passwords and security question and stuff like that. So
Pain in the neck.
yeah. But yeah, so that's that.
So as far as you know, SendGrid doesn't require any DNS record changes or anything like that, right?
We have
I don't.
SendGrid. We have SendGrid configured. Everything is set up. We have an account. We have everything. Just need to connect it on Rails and start shooting emails because I had SendGrid configured like a year ago. But then we stopped using it and started using just Gmail configuration because it was enough. So we just started using that. Never came back to
Yep.
anything. So
Well, it's plan B if we have to go there. But let's see what Chet can do. Maybe we can get this thing done.
in theory, you should be able to do that.
In theory, yeah.
It's his
Yeah,
domain, so
It's his domain. He owns it, right? That
I
counts for something,
believe
I would hope.
it should count for something. So I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. Let's see. For my update, today I've been working with chat and trying to solve this mailgun thing. Without great success, at least until now. Let's see if that changes during today or tomorrow.
Okay.
And let's see. And basically that was it for me. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So,
Um,
anything else?
No, if you can look at my pull request, and if it's good, get it merged, that'd be great. Then I can pull it and rebase my other authorization story against that. So pretty straightforward, I think.
Okay. So, it's merged.
Okay, great.
Oh, today's Thursday.
Sorry?
Today's Thursday, right?
Yep.
Tomorrow we have client meeting.
I wasn't even focused on that.
I completely forgot about that.
I did too until now.
Damn.
Seems like it was last week. Well, we did have a client meeting. That's why in the week. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll try to set everything up. You had things ready for the previous meeting, right?
I did. So we can just add some deltas beyond that, or maybe we ought to change that previous meeting document to reflect the meeting we're going to have. Because we didn't actually have that meeting. You know, we just add to it.
Yeah, let me see if I can change the name of it. Edit. Meeting 26, and it's gonna be on the 23rd. 23rd, okay. Spring 25 and 26. Okay, so I'll start building this and add whatever we finish this week. So,
Yeah. So I'll look at it once you're done, probably tomorrow morning.
I was looking at the VCR thing, and I believe you can configure some cassettes on YAML. If that helps.
So you can just create your own fixtures. In other words, it'll play those back.
Looks like at least they have here some hooks or something. I just searched for it. Oh, okay, it's version 3.3. That was a very search respond. Look, are they? We can see how all the cassettes are being stored, but I believe the cassettes are stored in YAML file. So yeah, cassettes. Yeah. Request response data is saved to disk as a YAML by default,
Hmm.
and it can be saved also as a JSON file. So if for now, if we don't want to be setting up, because the thing is, if we set up a Sinatra with this, we'll need to get the Sinatra up and load whatever we want to load there. So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just throw Sinatra on Heroku. Sam felt strongly that we should not, in development, we shouldn't stub out the service calls. We should actually talk to a service, a sandbox, if you will, over the internet. I'm not sure why he felt stubbing out the response in development was bad practice, but that was his sense. That's what
I think the issue that he has there would be, I don't know, something. You should be testing against a real service in order to have some information there. I don't know.
I think that, yeah, you want to emulate the real
Make sure that
as much as you can.
Yeah, to make sure that you have the network issue there and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you had time, which you don't, it'd be great to have a sandbox version of the real cruncher, but this is the poor man's version of it, I guess. Well, I mean, Laura sounded excited about using her Sinatra skills, which she learned 8 or 9 weeks ago, she said, so she'll have to brush up again on that. But she's eager to get going.
I can take a look at it tomorrow. I'm not sure. Do we need what do we need? We just need the match.
We need some to give it some known IDs and get some canned matches back. Resumes 1 through 10, job IDs 1, whatever, you know. And,
But we just need a match.
I think we just need. Well, we're actually going to probably need real resumes in there, and because we need to get the resume and fetch the resume. Jobs, I don't think we need real jobs in there. I don't believe, because we have all the job stuff up on the front end. So yeah, this is. I told Laura I've got to think this through and create a story that makes sense, but I haven't even, till now, I haven't thought 1 second about it. But yeah, we probably need real resumes to be returnable by that back end for development purposes.
Mm-hmm. I'm asking because the thing is we can store them some. Can store there some. I can create a version of the API that will return just some canned results for specific. I just need a list of specific calls and what you want to have returned.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of the resumes, we need to load them by hand. But after the moment that we create them there, they will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the ID, we are the ones that supply the ID. So if we want, we can supply very high IDs or non-numeric IDs for the user. If we want, we can do that.
What do you mean non-numeric? You mean numbers and strings?
Strings.
Well, that's what you do anyway, right? Don't you store them as?
I store them as strings, that's why I'm saying that. But I know that in Rails side, we're assuming that they are numbers.
Well, we convert them on the Rails side.
That's what I'm saying.
No issue there, yeah.
So what I'm saying is that if we can pass a string instead of we can use strings in the IDs on the Rails side, the Java side is ready for it, and we can store resumes like T1, T2, T3, and we'll have just testing them, testing stuff there with a specific starting point.
Oh, I see. So we'd use the same API endpoint, not a v-test, but a v2.
No. We will use a different API point, but in terms of stored ones, when you want to store a resume there, and if you want to have resumes there, we can store them with identifiers starting by the letter T, for example.
Yeah, I get that, but then our code would have to know it's running in development mode and strip out the T.
Do we really need it to be an integer?
Well, the thing that you call a user ID for the resume is actually a resume ID in our database.
What you can do in the Rails side is check if the first character or whatever is a T, and if it is a T, we assume that it's testing and it just removes it.
No, I know. We'd have to put that in our code, though. It'd be a little ugly, wouldn't it? I mean, if you have a different API endpoint,
we are going to have a different API point on the cruncher side. More ugly than that, that's impossible.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, no, we're talking about creating a sandbox, right? Any SaaS service like this, if it was commercial service, would have a sandbox version. So we're talking to an API endpoint that the URL ends with v-test rather than v2, right? Or something like that?
What they usually have is an API that is there that has testing data. But we don't have testing data, that's the only issue. But we can, the thing is, if we can create testing data, we can create testing data.
Right.
The thing is, we just need to make sure that we create the correct data in order to retrieve the correct information. And if we do that, we can store that in a place and then just reload it and use the normal APIs to do the changes. We don't need to create a different API.
Yeah, so we don't need to fake out the ID either, right? And strip out a T.
If we have test data, we have test data. If we don't have test data, we have to build new things in order to have tests or have that sandbox.
Right. So we'd be talking to an API that would include v-test or something like that in the URL, right? Or you would stay with the same URL, and we would just access test IDs, known test IDs. How would that work? So to do this, we would be using an API endpoint that has a URL that ends with v-test or something like that?
No, it will never end with v-test.
It'll still end with v2? It'll be the same URL?
That's in the middle, that's not in the end. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, the root of the URL ends with v2, as I think of it. So if we had an API endpoint where the v2 was replaced by v-test.
I cannot support test. It needs to be a number.
It does?
So we can have a v99999.
Yeah, something like that'll work out okay. B999 would be fine. We're never going to be that many versions out.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so that would be great. And then we just configure YAML to point to that, and we're off and running.
I just need to know the data that you want to return. to every turn, and which endpoints you're going to attack with it.
Hmm. Well, I have to think about that. I have to write something up.
Think about the scenarios that you need and which endpoints do you need to answer, and I'll just create a function that will return what you need.
Yep. Well, I'll I'll define that.
Okay. Okay. Uh, what was I doing? Oh, creating the this. Okay. Uh, I'll try to get meeting for tomorrow set up.
Yeah, I'll review the agenda probably early tomorrow morning.
Not sure if I'll
Not
be
tonight.
able to do it by tomorrow morning, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, whenever you've got it, just ping me, so I'll take a look.
Okay.
And I will prepare the demo portion of what we've got to show him, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. So we are talking about. Did we select email delivery mechanism? Did we do this sprint?
We did it within the past 4 weeks. I know that, so it should go
409. It's
the
409.
agenda.
It's 408 that we have here.
I think it was the
408
prior sprint.
here.
I think it was the prior sprint.
No, we didn't do 409. Okay, so it starts here. Okay, so I'll see what I can do there. And
Okay.
see if I can change this to put this as a sprint. If I could edit all these stuff, all these issues at the same time, that would be awesome. We finished 16 issues.
Okay, cool. It's a lot.
I don't understand why I can select. Oh, because I can assign. Oh, okay, let me see. Sprint 26. Or label. Should I put it? No, sprint 26. There's no. Ah.
I'll try to review Arun's story. I think that might be good to get in there to show Chet. That shouldn't take too long to look at. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And then Tong Wei's, I think hers is ready to go, from my point of view anyway.
Didn't you have some questions there?
She's answered everything that I asked. It changed everything that I asked.
Even the latest one?
I'm pretty sure. Let me see.
English correction that you did there.
Yeah, well, that was my fault. I said the text on the right. The text was actually on the left, so I think she fixed that. Let me just check. Yep, she's got that in there. I think she's good.
Okay, so I'll merge that one as well. Let me see if I can find it. Where is that? Here. It's in my paths. Okay. So, good changes. Now it's approved. And now just merge. 10. And what did you say about the room?
I'll take a look at it, and I'm sure it'll be fine. I just want to look at it a bit, and I will ping you on Slack. Oh, you'll see my comment come through, actually. So
Okay.
even if I find nothing, I'll still complete the review.
Okay, so I'll take a look into it now. I've got everything. Let me see if I can select just the milestones. This one's 18 closed issues. Okay, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to start writing this up. Okay?
Okay. Yep. Sounds
So
good.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye.
Bye now.